From Irving High School, it is the ICTN Game of the Week. District 6A High School Ladies Basketball. MacArthur Cardinals traveling to the Irving High School Lady Tigers. Hey everybody, Rob Willman with you. John Nelson will join us in just a moment as you're taking a look at the starters for Irving High School being introduced. They come in 0-9 in district play. They've lost 7 in a row. They're taking on a MacArthur team, always a powerhouse. They have won 7 in a row. They've worked their way up to 8-1 in district, tied with Flower Mound. Hebron is 6-3 in district. Louisville is also at 6-3. And then you have Marcus, Coppell, Nimitz, and Irving. It is a young Irving High School team. They have 5 freshmen and a couple of sophomores. They're going against that juggernaut program of Susie O'Schlegel and the Lady Cards. You take a look right there at Katrina Robinson, the head coach for the Lady Tigers. The starting lineups very quickly will go with Susie O and MacArthur. And the first time for us this year, we get to see the big tandem of Sarah Andrews, the guard wearing 0, and the big 6'4 post, Hannah Gusters, number 21. She scored 50 against Nimitz the last time out on ICT, and Newsom, Browning, Green, the other starters. And then for the Lady Tigers, who have really struggled of late scoring, Taylor, Patterson, Alvarado, Roberts, and Johnson. And these Lady Tigers are averaging just under 28 points a game in district. They will have their hands full, to say the least, and he will set the table and dine as well. John Nelson, give us a call, sir.
Plus dessert. Lady Cards win the opening tap. They're dressed in their gold black with the red numbers, and they swing it from right to left. They won the first meeting by 50. 81-31, they go to Gusters, and Hannah a little short on the delivery off the baseline, and last touch by the Lady Cards. Irving comes in averaging just 32 points a game. Defensively, the Lady Cards less than 50. They yield 46 through the first 28 games of the year. Cross court to Rania Patterson. Patterson lets fly a 3, a little short, as it grazed the bottom of the net. Nobody touched it, and the second possession upcoming for the Lady Cards. Renal Patterson leading the Lady Tigers in scoring. Sarah Andrews averaging 14. Jordan Newsom also averaging 14 underneath. And the first 2 of the game, Hannah Gusters not at 100%, a little under the weather this afternoon, but good enough to start. There's a steal. Cross-court pass is batted out of bounds. I was about to say Hannah averaging 22 points and 10 boards.
What makes this team so good, and when I say this team, I mean the Lady Cards. Just in, that was Madison Green, the 5'11 forward that made the play under the basket. So they've got 2 really tall girls in the front court.
Madison Green at 5'11 contact, and a tie-up in the corner as Patterson working on Sarah Andrews, and the Lady Tigers maintain possession. Bessie Alvarado will play it in at side court.
How do you coach a game like this, John, if you're the Irving Tigers?
And having won the first meeting by 50.
Play ball control?
Stall tactics.
Stall.
Take the good shot. They've already taken a 3. Lady Cards on top, 2 love. Batted away by Gusters at the top of the key. And Alvarado comes up with it, trying to dump it down low. It's broken up, and here's Andrews. Lead pass to Gusters. Pulls it down off the double team. Averaging 22 points, had 30 in the first meeting a month ago. And a 4-0 MacArthur lead.
Just not fair, is it, John?
It's ought to play with their hands tied up to even it up. On the floor and off the possession.
You know, Susie would never tell us, but I wonder if it's difficult to keep, both Gusters and Andrews happy. You've got 2 very good, as you see Susie there, very good players on the team. So far, Andrews hadn't even taken a shot. She's just fed the ball inside.
Low post dump, counted. As Hannah will go to the line, try to complete a 3-point play as the lead now expands to 6-0.
She's almost an 80% free throw player. She's been to the line, 67 times, not as much as Jordan Newsom, almost 130.
Free throw is in there. And our first sub as Madison Green comes out.
Boy, you go from 5'11" to 5'5" on the swap, John.
Yeah. Another steal from the free throw line off the back iron. Shot taken and missed by Jordan Newsom. Possession number 3 for the Lady Tigers in traffic. Around 1, around 2. Rebound, no. That was put up by Taylor. And trying to contend with it and stay inbounds as it went over the line with 5:39 to go in our opening period.
Gusters pretty much did a 360 trying to find the basketball. Every time she'd block it, end up going in one direction into the hands of the Tigers. They couldn't do anything with it.
Morgan Browning near court right side. Comes to the middle. Over to Sarah Andrews. On the wing. Down low. There's the game plan as it has been since Hannah Gusters got eligible, wouldn't you say, Rob?
Yeah, just keep feeding it inside underneath the basket. She literally doesn't even have to jump. She's
barely leaves the floor.
Yeah, flat-footed every time. I'd like to see him get maybe Andrews more involved.
Here she is again, and the running hook shot stays down, and Hannah Gusters has 6 of the first 9 points. They do so well at midcourt on the trap. This one kicked away, scooped up by Gusters, and a baseball pass down court broken up. Here come the Lady Tigers the other way in contact as Patterson was run into.
Both Andrews and Gusters, one form or another, injured this year, not playing together that often. Sarah has only played in 13 games and Gusters only 15.
They'll try the 3, Bryant, and she walked with it. Hannah Gusters receiving a national award this week. 6'4" senior. She and Sarah Andrews have signed to go play at Baylor. Broken up at the top of the key. This one scooped up at midcourt. Breaking away from the pack of Chanel Taylor. And Taylor misses the layup.
Maybe intimidated a little bit.
Yep. Lead pass pulled in by Browning. Browning to the hole. Out of bounds.
Morgan free reign. Well, got pushed a little bit there toward the end, but no harm. Watch again the fast break, the quick outlet. Trying to go for the layup, and they say nothing but the ball.
Got all Spalding, I guess, as they trigger it back in the corner for a 3. This one not there. Recovery is Morgan Browning. It was Courtney Wright that took the 3 shot in the corner. This one broken up, a steal and a bucket. And just like that, you're down 13 love, not even halfway through the opening quarter as the Lady Cards come in, averaging right at 54 a game.
And that was Heaven Butler on the steal there. Well, if you've been around Susie enough, you know that's the type of defensive scheme she likes to run, and that's a lot of pressure in the backcourt. And that's what they've done here about halfway through the first quarter. So it's nothing new there. And then, some fans may say, man, you're taking advantage. Well, we'll give her a mulligan this time, folks, since she hasn't really had the nucleus of her team together all season. And she's just trying to get some continuity there. Personally, I think I'd like to see Andrews get a little bit more involved because sooner or later, John, I think they're going to face someone that are going to pack it in underneath and make it a little bit tougher for Gusters underneath the board. And you're going to have Andrews all by herself, and she's such a good shooter. Let her shoot some.
Yeah, you're 8-1 in district. And right now at this stage, late January, a couple of days away from the month of February, positioning in the district so key right now. I mean, you can't help but look ahead to the rest of the schedule. 13-0 Lady Cards on top on the year 18-10. The Lady Tigers at 6-18. Susie Go last year a 28-8 campaign. Undefeated in district at 14-0. Going up and being challenged was Patterson. And the defensive foul, team foul number 2 on the Lady Cards.
Might have been against Courtney Wright. reaching in on the play.
Bessie Alvarado to play it in. Looking, and a bounce pass collected in the corner. Long three from about 24 off the mark. In traffic is Morgan Browning as they spread out. Passing up the three. Up high to right. Entry pass to Hannah Gusters. Gusters turns, shoots, and misses. Around one, around two, and a nice layup by Patterson.
Nicely done by the sophomore.
Averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds in the first 2 points of the contest for the Lady Tigers. Here's Sarah Andrews. Nice whip pass underneath, baseline give. And completing the play is Courtney Wright. Midcourt.
Sarah is such a complete player, John. She is not selfish at all with the basketball. And those assists, they just keep popping. She's had like 65 now in 13 games.
Azaria Bryant. And getting it back, almost lost it. Bryant trying to wedge a path underneath, and this is the reverse layup. Gusters owns the boards. Lead pass caught on the run and unable to gather it in is Heaven Butler, number 23.
She was so close to the backboard. I think she was a matter of lost concentration, looking to see exactly where she was at on the court.
It's a 15-2 lead. The double team right in front of us and trying to throw it off in an opponent, Patterson, but it hit no one. It'll belong to the Lady Cards.
This is the point of the ball game that it can become so frustrating for Irving High, especially when they're not able to bring the ball across the half-court line.
Kevin Butler checks out. Jordan Newsom with a rock. Courtney Wright sends it into Gusters. Gusters looks up, finds an opening, and buries two more. 9 points for Gusters. Alvarado gets the dribble back, goes up. Gusters partially got a hand on it. Now batting it away from the teammate. And the Lady Cards right back. Here's Andrews, entry pass in the lane. Newsom misses from about 9. Block, Patterson's attempt. Recovery, a little bit too much. And Gusters yanks it away from Chanel Taylor. Minute 40 to go in the first quarter. Andrews cross court. In the corner for a 3. That one off the mark. It was launched by Courtney Wright. Lady Tigers just to get it across half court is a challenge. There's another steal. Newsom off of the deflection. Jordan Newsom. Her first 2, averaging 14 a game, the 5'8" junior. And the lead now swells to 17.
You know, Newsom, one of the few coming back next year.
Unable to save it on the wing is Patterson. And Browning joining Madison Green for the Lady Cards. Katrina Robinson, ex-Lady Longhorn at UT. Telling me she went down for the alumni game a couple of months ago, had a good time. Wasn't too enthusiastic about Shaka Smart. A lot of people aren't either. From about 20, nothing but the bottom of the net. That's Courtney Wright with the team's first 3. Lead at 20, and this one out of bounds in the backcourt. Might have been a foul as Michelle Gann tried to move it up court.
You know, John, I don't know if it's just me or it just seems like the Irving girls seem a little defeated already. They just don't seem, they seem lackadaisical. Of course, a lot of that might be with the Cardinal defense, but still.
Yeah, you're 0-9 in district and lost the first game by 50. And yeah, it's tough. 3 on the way. That one off as Haggard took the 3. They get the rebound. Trying to move it in closer, and they do off of the hip, off of the bottom of the rim as to scrape the front of the rim. Browning and the handoff to Newsome, Jordan Newsome. And the lead at a double deuce with 3 seconds left. Right in front of Coach O as it goes off of the Lady Tigers.
Unselfish play by the
It
Cardinals
was.
in that series.
A touch, they give it right back for a mid-court 3 off of the square, and it just grazed the side of the rim. And that is the end of your first quarter here at Irving High. It is all Lady Cards as they open up a 24-2 lead. And welcome back to Irving High, our ICT and Game of the Week. The Lady Cards and the Lady Tigers, Mac at 8-1, coming off a 55-41 win over Louisville last week.
That was a get-even game right there.
It was. Only district loss came to the hands of Louisville. Chanel Taylor, and misses over Newsome as they contend for the loose ball and the foul just 15 seconds into the second quarter.
Irving has to do that. They have to draw a foul, get to the line, and try to get their points that way.
Team foul number 5 on the Lady Cards, and at the line, Renaa Patterson. And we'll have one more shot. Zaria Bryant checks out. Patterson's second free throw attempt is in there. Sarah Andrews, 5'7" senior. Our first look, as Rob said, we saw her light it up last year. Just getting healthy, just getting back in the second half of the district campaign. And they go, and Madison Green with her 4th point. It is 26-3.
She's not a bad player underneath the rim, overshadowed by Gusters, of course.
Steal and another layup, and Sarah Andrews with her first 2 of the game. Another steal, down low, wide open. They find the open spots, don't they, Rob? They find the open court, the spacing. They create their own spacing, and I think you could have handed off that pass.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And that Morgan Browning, the recipient of that assist by Andrews, and Sarah just likes to dish. She could have taken the shot very easily. And she's constantly out there trying to find the open player, and that's going to pay dividends. There's a play there where Gutierrez didn't know who to go to. Well, she gave it to Andrews and gave it to Browning, and Browning does the rest. And that unselfishness, that's going to help down the line.
6 seniors, 5 juniors, and 2 sophomores comprising the Lady Card varsity rosters. Rob said the Lady Tigers are young. 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, 5 freshmen, and just 1 senior. That's it. Beyonce Johnson is the only senior. And again, the task is to beat that backcourt pressure and clear it across the midcourt stripe. As they look at Savannah Gutierrez, and there is team foul number 6. Shania Roberts almost walked with it and just got it into the hands of Alvarado. This one off with the right foot underneath of number 32, Madison Green.
Do you think we need 3 officials for a high school girls game?
You mean regular season or playoffs or all time?
Just now.
It would help. It would. Lead pass, the handoff. There's Browning doing a 360 into Gusters. Gusters hit from behind, no foul, and chased down in the corner by Browning and off of Irving High.
I mean, we have 3 now. I feel like they could get away with 2.
So 2
Yeah.
at Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Some of the problem in front of us is foot traffic, so maybe a third official could direct some traffic. Gusters with a 3. How about that?
How about that, sports fans?
As Rob said, our last game with Hannah Gusters, she poured in 50, had about 35 rebounds and a traveling violation, and they'll turn it right back to the Lady Cards.
That's her 8th three-pointer of the season, John.
They come in hitting right at 30% of their threes, close to 30%.
Isn't that really what you want? Isn't that kind of the benchmark?
30 is good. 32 is excellent. I think 34 leads the district. Missed shot, 2-on-2. Can they get to the basket? They do, and lay it up and in.
Well done that time by Roberts.
Freshman.
Quickness.
Gusters off the double team. Old hat, same result.
Same song, different verse.
14 points. The lead at 30. And we see Elizabeth Matati for the first time. 6'2" junior.
What if we put Gusters at 6'4", Matati at 6'2", and Green at 5'11"? Put
Madison.
them all out there at the same time.
Yeah, all. There's 2 more. You look down and you lose the play. That's at least the 10th steal. Not even the first half. It could be in double figures in steals. Points off of turnovers, about 20 right now. To the right of the lane, missed shot. And Matati wheels to the left and has the two-handed rebound. Here's Gusters, pulls it down, turns that little jump hook. 16 and counting for Hannah Gusters.
Well, John,
Tripped.
coming into tonight's game, Mac had 279 steals.
Top of the key, a straight on 3. Andrews misses. Rebound, Lady Cards, bounce past Gusters.
Nope.
Down low, and that'll be a possession as the ball is pinched between the rim and the glass. Wholesale subs on both sides. You don't see it often, but it results in a, well, if it's in the NBA, it's a jump ball, but alternate possession on the tie-up when the ball's frozen. They don't have another ball to dislodge it.
Sure, they got a bunch
Where?
over there. See over there behind the scores
What's the
table.
delay?
We'll just have our cameraman go. Oh, nicely done.
Okay.
By the ref.
Nice
Look at
reach.
that. Yeah. He's like, okay.
I'm on the clock. I got to get this game moving again.
I get paid by the game, not the minute.
In trouble under duress is Bryant, able to clear it. Double team at side court. And the kick.
Good friend of mine from high school used to referee, officiate high school basketball games. Now he's the official game scorer for the SMU Mustang men's team.
Does he like it?
Yeah, he enjoys it immensely. I was at a game where he was there, of course, and he had to tell the official that the coach of the opposing team didn't give him the lineup at a predetermined time, and they slapped the technical on the visiting team because of that.
I haven't seen that in years. But that is the rule. I mean, you can come out late and receive a technical.
Right.
To start the game. I've seen that happen. What's so difficult about making out a lineup?
I don't know. It might have been along the lines, like you said, about being late. They might not have got there on time. Maybe they underestimated North Central Expressway at 5 o'clock.
There is no light traffic.
No.
Okay, 3.5 to go in the first half. Right wing is Alvarado. She will take the 3, and it will hit nothing and caught underneath. Sarah Andrews sends it over to her teammate, Hannah Gusters, who misses. Newsom has the rebound and the putback underneath. Jordan Newsom had 18 in that first game. Lady Cards winning 81-31. Under 3 left. Up top, Bryant.
She got a good look.
Yeah. Here's Andrews. Slows it down now, backs away a little short on the delivery. And trying to get it back. And on the floor belongs to the Lady Cards. Gusters around one, big jump step, and that one missed. Gets her own rebound. And will head to the line. Team foul number 2 assessed to the Lady Tigers.
First time that we've seen the all-district guard Sarah Andrews, number 0, who was part of that initial play on the drive. And I don't know, John, here halfway through this game, doesn't look like her old self just yet, at least shooting the ball from jump shot.
She has the speed. I mean, she looks good in traffic.
Yeah, ball handling,
yeah.
assisting. I don't think she has that shot down. Well, at least tonight she doesn't, but.
Matati at the line, misses the first of 2. And the lefty connects on the second, so she splits a pair at the line. And Augusta's with a breather. She checks out with 16 points. Alvarado in the backcourt with Taylor back to Alvarado. They just beat the 10-second count. They throw it away on top of that. They had about a second to spare. Got that accomplished, but threw it away.
I would say, John, in the first half so far, you're going to get your points from Hannah, but I like the play of Newsom and Browning, Green in the supporting role. You don't hear those names they don't get the publicity, but I feel like they've done rather well when given the opportunity.
Pass intended in the paint for Matati.
Emma Parks now in, number 1.
So Parks on the floor for the first time. Broken away at the top of the key. Roberts with a steal and the deuce.
Second time we've seen the freshman use her speed to her advantage.
Denia Roberts, 42-7 the count with 1:51 to go in the half. Broken up again. Saved as Andrews misses the 3 just beyond the arc. Parks able to save it. Right side. And Andrews misses another one. Recovery in the paint underneath. And that is Webster. Kayla Webster, 5'6" sophomore in the scoring book now. 44-7. Contact is Ducking tried to pull away Carrington Ducking in the game, number 32, a freshman. Let's see, Coach.
One starter out there for Mac right now.
I was about to say, Coach O now inserting Kimberlyn Daniel. Well, believe it or not, now no starters.
Yeah. Evan Butler comes in for Sarah.
No, Green's still out there. Madison Green.
Yeah.
32. Ducking at the strike for a couple. Skylar Haggard about to come on. Alvarado comes out. Patterson back in, number 10, waiting the second free throw from Carrington Ducking. 44-9. And there is number 31, Skylar Haggard, freshman. Parks receiving the inbounds pass from Brokenberry. Swing it left side to Parks. Cut off underneath and took the extra step. Turns it over with 1:08 to go in the first half. It was 24-2 at the end of the first quarter. Lady Tigers have dropped their last 17 in this series to the Lady Cards. Patterson drifting to the left, now works it up high to Roberts. Roberts stops There's an off-balance shot taken and missed by Johnson. 45 seconds. Parks, and there's an over and back. Had a foot on either side of the court as he straddled the midcourt line. And Roberts was ready, but the official not.
Heckling from the stands.
Yeah, right behind us.
Fun heckling though. Nothing bad.
Nice turnout by MacArthur across the way. Not many open seats up high. There's a shot underneath that Patterson couldn't connect on, so they reset it with 25 seconds. A little bit too high for Haggard in the corner. Lady Cards hitting 41% from the field this year. This is game number 29. Game number 25 for Irving High. With 11 seconds. Parks, it's a 2. 46-9 with 2 seconds. The drive broken up and will not be able to get a shot off, but they lead at intermission by 37. Our halftime score on our ICTN Game of the Week, the Lady Cards of Irving MacArthur 46 and the Lady Tigers of Irving High 9.
Mag by 37 as we're about to start the third quarter. Highlights very quickly, and from the beginning it was Hannah Gusters. She pretty much dominated things and pretty much had the stamp of approval from the get-go. 2 right there, and she'll get another feed inside, handles things very well underneath the glass. She can also hit the tray, and then also a nice little feed from Sarah Andrews to Courtney Wright. And then here comes the live action, John.
It begins with a Lady Tiger 3. They get it right back, run down by Chanel Taylor underneath, and another opportunity miss. There's a third try and a miss. 0 for 3. The Lady Tigers begin the second half. Into Gusters, a little short off the side of the glass as she got the feed from Jordan Newsom. Second possession for the Lady Tigers. The drive and then the trip just to the right of the lane. 39 seconds into the second half. On Gusters, team foul number 1. Bessie Alvarado, she backs out towards midcourt. Lady Cards outscoring Irving High 22-7 in that second quarter off the fingertips of Johnson. Here she is right side over Gusters, a little bit too much, and reeled in underneath by Newsom. 2 more for Morgan Browning, had 6 in the first half. Has the first 2 points to begin the second half for the Lady Cards. It is 48-9.
Nifty little play by Gusters there, though. She tapped it away right to the hands of Browning, who made the nice play.
Roberts and Newsom both contending for that loose ball that belonged to Bessie Alvarado and the Lady Tigers at half court. And now Patterson squeezes one into Roberts. Roberts fronted by Newsom, goes left side. Drive off the double team and a little bit wide left. And the rebound pulled down by Madison Green. There's Gusters. Gusters from Jordan Newsom.
That was nice ball handling, wasn't it, by both?
Didn't take that long, and just like you practice it, they're good at that. There's a layup by Roberts, her 6th point. I mean, don't you think, Rob, that Susie O, she's got to feel good about her team right now. 8-1. They'll be 9-1 in district after this game, but We talked about looking ahead schedule-wise. You can't help but do that. We only lost by 4 to Louisville. This one broken up and retrieved again by the Lady Cards into Gusters. Turns, shoots, does a 180, and fills it up again.
I wonder if she feels like, well, she's going to have a couple of more tougher
soft
district games. You know, you can't tell much when it's like this.
Yeah, there's some soft ones upcoming, but a win's a win, and oh, there's a poke in the eye just underneath the right eye as a Green was about to break away. And that is Chanel Taylor, number 3, 5'6" junior, in some discomfort. Our next game on ICTN will be back at Nimitz High. We'll bring you the Irving Nimitz doubleheader on February 7th. Our final telecast of the basketball season as Taylor is escorted to the bench. And let's see, Isaiah Bryant, her replacement. Bounce pass comes into Roberts. Looking for a white jersey, broken up. Who has it? Still loose to the floor. It is still loose, and the tie up, and it'll belong to the Lady Cards. A lot of players reaching in, trying to hold it long enough for the tie up.
Well, I'm sure Susie can assess the game and what she sees and likes and doesn't like, but I think for an average fan, you're just trying to get a gauge on just how good these Lady Cardinals are. I mean, it's just so easy for Gusters. Underneath, it's just not a lot of effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to move the ball around. Now, those turnover there, but those couple of fast breaks prior that Mac had where there was good ball movement and they tapped it to the open player who hit the shot, you know, they got to feel good about that. That's good movement on their part.
So the turnover and the possession, Irving High through the hands. Unable to secure it at side court was Beyonce Johnson. 4:41 left here in the third quarter. Lady Cards come in averaging 54. Right now they got 52. Gusters, and there's the average. Gusters with 22 points, and it is 54-11. It is kicked, scooped up at midcourt by Webster. Newsom to Hannah. Side court, Gusters trying to free up. There she is, muscling inside. And Gusters with her 24th point. She's tallied 73, Rob, our last 2 games. 73 points in the 2 games we've seen her this year. In the corner.
Interesting you brought that up. I was just thinking, you know, she's a senior. We won't see her again. She had to sit out a year last year, so we didn't get to see her at all. Going on to Baylor, you know, hopefully we'll be able to see her play there. But, you know, it's going to be a long time before we see someone of her stature and dominance inside, on the ladies' side at least, here at Irving in a long time.
Came in averaging 22, right now has 24. Lady Tigers just trying to control it and get a shot off. Broken up, little touch pass ahead to Newsom from Andrews into the padding. And out of bounds it goes with 3:27 to go in the third.
I think for Susie is how do you keep them focused?
Man, you got to
keep yelling.
That's the hard part, I know, and sometimes you don't feel like it. In the corner is Andrews. Sarah misses a 3. She's attempted 3 3-pointers tonight. Here's a 3 on the way. Off the back iron and off.
You know, she hasn't made a jump shot. I mean, her 2-point came up on a layup, if I recall.
Oh, on Sarah?
Yeah, on Sarah. Yeah. Her only 2 points was a layup. She hasn't hit a jump shot at all tonight. She's not in the rhythm, not her game.
Savannah Gutierrez in the game, number 10, a 5'5" senior. Winding down to 3 minutes here in the third. 11 consecutive years in the playoffs for the Lady Cards. Guster steps around her defender. That would be Haggard, and tallies 2 more. Her 26th point. Trying to open up some space. The drive as Gusters comes over the top. A mismatch there in height. As Patterson looking straight up to Gusters.
Because Gusters is so tall, she doesn't have to jump. We say we never see her. She doesn't have to. And when you are not as prone, John, I don't think, to make as many penalties or fouls that way.
Shania Roberts with a basket, her 8th point. Gusters a little short. And here come the Lady Tigers on the run, Bryant. And there's some contact, not much of a bump, but Newsom not giving any cushion at all on Bryant.
Yeah, I think from this angle she probably pushed in a little bit.
Team foul number 3 on the Lady Cards. That one off the mark. And on the other side, it's caught by Wright. Gusters, not much trouble there, but misses the layup.
Just give me that ball.
Takes it away off of the shoulders. She just picked it right off the top of the shoulders.
And that was a frustration because I missed the open shot reaction when she got the rebound.
I know what you're saying about being motivated. You'd sure like to save some of these points for the playoffs, wouldn't you? Here's Gusters inside.
Yeah, but at the same token, John, of the 2 games we've seen her play, for her, they just seem so easy. It's like, playing with a small child's basketball goal, where we can slam it and dunk it. That's the way it is for her in this scenario. She's just so much taller. She just reaches up and pretty much drops it in.
Shooting down at the basket. Broken up, intercepted at the top of the key by Andrews. Lead pass to Jordan Newsom. Another assist for Sarah, as Newsom now with her 8th point. And they're in the 60s. Came in averaging 54. Alvarado dribbles, stops, out deep for Bryant. Not there. Underneath, rebound, at least for a second. It was Bryant who had control of it. Guster steps around 2 players on the feed from Gutierrez.
It's at 30 now?
An even 30. That's what she had in the first game. Under a minute. Patterson one-on-one with Gutierrez as the 2 guards battle for position. Trying to establish some space there. Substitutions on both sides. Heaven Butler will replace Jordan Newsom, who checks out with 8 points.
John, if you're a player and you're out there right now and this place is, about 80% full, but it's so quiet, it's got to have a different feel to it.
Well, there's a little crowd reaction. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Bryant, the other freshman, with the 2.
Had 12 in the first game. Baseline right.
Now, see,
2 more for Gusters.
That shot I could appreciate. The fadeaway, baseline. She's not just a foot away dropping it in. She'll have to do more of that when she goes to the next level.
With 8 seconds. Get the shot off, number 1. You got to get the shot off, and they can't do it. We'll go to the 4th. Our score, the Lady Cards 66, the Lady Tigers 15 on our ICTN Game of the Week. Fourth quarter about to commence here at Irving High. It is all Lady Cards as they will go to 9-1 in district, but they've got 8 minutes to play with.
You're calling it?
Up by 51. I like the chances. Hand off to Taylor. This one kicked away. It'll belong to the Lady Tigers at side court. 6-18 on the year. We'll see them in a couple of weeks. Handoff on the drive from behind the glass, no good. And the recovery is.
First 2 points for Beyonce.
Beyonce Johnson, a senior. 5th different Lady Tiger to score. There's a 3 in and out of the cup. Comes to Alvarado. Side court it goes to Patterson. Look out. Not to be tied up, and she was by Gutierrez. Gutierrez reaching in, holding it long enough to get the tie up. And the ball for the Lady Cards. Kevin Butler and Sarah Andrews in the backcourt. Now Gutierrez with it. Andrews down low, back tipped away, trying to get it back to Andrews. Crowded out of bounds, unable to stay in play is Patterson.
Have Matati in there now. We saw just a little bit of her in the first half.
Elizabeth at 6'2" and a junior, number 35. Short on the 3. Picked up. And coming out with it is Alvarado. Well, Patterson with some antics. A lot of dribbling, gets the shot off, but bumped the underneath of the rim. Entry pass intended for Matati and knocked away. Johnson on the other side as Andrews comes on the backside of Chanel Taylor and swats it out of bounds.
Good hustle by Sarah. Backside, watch her right there.
Alvarado to play it in. Gets it back. Trying to get a good look at it. This one spins out. Still loose. And controlled by the Lady Cards underneath. That was Heaven Butler that controlled it. Here she is, number 23. Shoots it up high to Andrews. Swings it left side quickly. Courtney Wright off the mark. Butler, the recipient. That one wide left. 5:27 and kicked away.
Good hustle by Matati in that last series, keeping the ball alive. Butler just couldn't hit the open shot.
Number 11, Brokenberry replacing Gutierrez. Lady Tiger possession. Men's game to follow. Patterson in the middle to Alvarado. Directing traffic. Short pass to Taylor. Johnson can't get it. Off the screen, bounce pass intended for Johnson. She was guarded by Brokenberry, and there's the foul at the 4:59 mark. Team foul number 6 on MacArthur. Well, Augusta's across the way, Rob. Looks like check back in at the next opportunity.
Officials gave them the opportunity to bring her in, but right now her and Susie are just having a conversation.
It'll be Coach Mulkey next year in that conversation with her at Baylor. From about 12, shot taken and missed by Johnson.
Do you really have a conversation with Mulkey? Probably not.
My way or the highway.
That's it.
Alvarado, one working on 4. Now circles back out. Will take the 3. Not there. Rebound basket not there. Picked up, third chance. And it got away from Haggard. Or not Haggard, beg your pardon, that's Ducking, number 32. Off of the Lady Cards. Well, they're not quite sure who to bring in now. I think Susie O wants a full timeout.
She does. And you know, John, this gives us an opportunity to talk about the gymnasium. It received a facelift. You can hardly tell from where we're currently sitting here at courtside at half court, but the outside really did get a nice facelift. And I notice perhaps on the end facing O'Connor, there's the panoramic view. On the opposite end of this shot, there used to be all the banners of district titles that the Irving athletic program had picked up right there. See, now it's just the flags and the big tiger, and I'm wondering if maybe perhaps it got some either new brick or they cleaned up the brick, made it a lot
it looks power
cleaner.
washed.
Yeah, power wash. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if they had the lights you see in that picture are now LED lights. There's the big tiger. They have one of those at each end of the court.
The Missouri Tiger. No, it looks exactly like Missouri.
And
well,
the pads underneath where the cheerleaders or their camera guys are at, that looks new.
Yeah, it does look new. Sidewall, kind of refurbished, painted. Off the hip, won't go. And some pulling and some bumping on the rebound that Matani had for just a second. 9 different Lady Cards accounting for the 66 points so far. And Susie O beginning to clear the bench. Kimberlyn Daniel, junior in. Quick inbounds pass. Back out to Alvarado. She will take the 3 off the mark. And that's a tough call. Went off of both players. Who got it last? Daniel battling for it. Off of her. So Alvarado to play it back in for the Lady Tigers. In it comes. That's Johnson that misses underneath. Daniel. Not there.
Last couple of times up and down, John, you don't see that passing like you did. It's so human nature, I think, if you're a sub, even if you're a third-tier sub, to get out there. You don't want to pass, you want to shoot. It's like one of your few opportunities to score.
This one kicked. Emma Parks, number 1, going for the steal. Outside for a 3. Caught two-handed style. They work it back out to Patterson. Patterson hit by Parks on the drive, misses. And underneath, Matati has the rebound. 3:27 left in the game. Emma Parks with a high lob into Matati. Can't get a good jump as she was pinned to the floor. Team foul number 2 on the Lady Tigers.
You're Matati, you're sitting on the bench. You're watching your counterpart that has just a couple of inches in height more than you do, but it seems so different for Matati. Every time she tried to turn around and score, there were arms and elbows getting in her way.
Madison Green checks in, number 32 for Matati. Run down and saved in the corner by the Lady Cards. Here's Emma Parks. Left side for a 3.
Second one for Butler, yeah.
And the lead at 52. Under 3 minutes to play. Baseline drive, stops, unable to get a play off. A little congested underneath as it goes out of bounds. And here's Emma Parks pushing it up court. 5'6" junior. High lob. Green and left side. Air ball three, run down in the corner and saved again by the Lady Cards. And taken away, lead pass. Can she get the shot off? She does, misses, recovery not there, third opportunity. And they'll go to the line, team foul number 7 on the Lady Cards. It was Ducking battling hard for it, number 32. It was 46-9 at the end of the first half. Ducking 3 for 3 now from the free throw strike.
Do you realize, Sean, this is only the 9th free throw attempt in the ball game combined?
Wow, that is hard to believe.
I think they kind of let him play it. Not that I'm mad at him.
They swallowed the whistle at times.
Thank you.
Patterson comes away with it for the Lady Tigers off the right knee. She kicked it away, couldn't control it, and another turnover. Lady Cards turnover-wise this year averaging about 16 a game. Almost went in for Brokenberry. Minute 35 left in the game. They contend for it. Lady Tigers come away with it. Mac coming off a 14-point win over Louisville, the team that beat them earlier in district. Their only district loss. Underneath, an underhand style, Patterson. And hit on the way by Kimberlyn Daniel. Team foul number 8. And at the line with a minute 16 to play, number 10, Renat Patterson. Averaging 9 points, a sophomore. Also 5 rebounds a contest. Carrington Ducking out of the game. She'll finish with 3 points. One more free throw. Left elbow short on the 3. Running it back down nicely is Daniel. Got her own rebound. Here's Emma Park. She'll test the three-point water. Short. Rebound. In and out. Another offensive rebound. This time it stays in. Number 11, Brokenberry with her first 2. It is 71-19. Rob will have an interview with Coach O. This one around and around, and a circle job for Patterson that did the victory lap and went down. Underneath, Emma Parks misses. There's a mid-court bump by Madison Green. That'll send the Lady Tigers back to the line with 16.4 to play. Hannah Gusters tonight finishes with 32 points. Missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and then some hand checking about face level high. Gonna be on the Lady Cards. Madison Green. And now Coach Robinson, she's gonna
sit her down.
Sit out Johnson.
And send her to the locker room.
So Beyonce Johnson out of the game. She finishes with 2 points.
She's like, I can't go to the locker room. There's guys in the way.
Team filing in for Mac. At the line, number 32, Carrington Ducking. Maybe the last shot that Lady Tigers take tonight on this free throw. In and out. Rebound, Lady Cards. That will be the last shot they take. Emma Parks with 4 seconds. Over the baseline with 1.4. 71-21 the count. Lady Cards in the 70s. Tallied 81 against Nimitz earlier, and there it is as the horn sounds. And the Lady Cards on the scoreboard by 50, 71-21. That was a margin of victory last month in the first meeting. Unofficially, Hannah Gusters with 32 points as they broke it open early, led 24-2 at the end of the first quarter. Well, the Lady Cardinals pick up their 19th win of the year. They pick up their 9th district win. 71-21 the final, and Rob Williman with head coach Susie O.
All right, John, thank you very much. Well, the score indicated a one-sided game. Were you happy with the results on your side as a coach?
Well, you know, we got everybody in. That's not always the goal. I've just been telling the girls, okay, for us to get where we need to be, okay, we need to be consistent every quarter. Okay, we can't have these lulls, okay, finishing, turning the ball over, fouling, okay, so we're just trying to preach consistency for 4 quarters.
It seems so easy, of course, for Hannah because she's so tall. Do you ever worry you can't get anybody else involved offensively, or do you just you'll take what they'll give you?
Well, what I want to say about Sarah, I think she had almost 15 assists.
Right.
She's very unselfish, and she makes sure that we got the ball to her. But that's the awesome thing about Sarah is that she's very, very unselfish. I mean, I don't know how many she scored tonight or if she scored at all.
Not very many.
But what I love about that kid is that she gets everybody else involved, and she's trying to always get the ball inside to help others. So
I did like the play of some of your other players. You know, all the pub goes to Hannah and Sarah, but you do have a good supporting staff too that can play.
Well, you know, we've been working on that because the core of our team. You think about it. We didn't have Hannah at the beginning. Actually, yeah, we didn't, and then we didn't have Sarah for most of the season. So our goal was to get the core of the team where they needed to be, and we're getting there. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. So, you know, we just got to keep getting stronger. We got to keep getting more consistent, and just keep challenging each other in practice every day. We go against the boys, our freshman boys, but I think that's a good thing. But we just got to get consistent.
District season is about to run out on you.
Yeah.
Do you have enough time before postseason to get to where you want to get?
Oh yeah. As long as we keep getting better and peaking at the right time, we're right on time. We're right where we need to be.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
All righty. All right, John. Another big win by the Lady Cards. Now back to you.
All right, Lady Cards now have won their last 8-game winning streak on the line. Let's take a look at some of the highlights in the second half. Hannah Gusters, as she gets the feed at the free throw line, turns, shoots, and an easy 2 for Hannah Gusters, not only doing it underneath but outside with a fadeaway from about 15. And here's the lead touch pass. Sarah Andrews feeding on the run to Jordan Newsom. Newsom with 2 of her 8 points. And then on the other end of it, the Lady Tigers getting it underway. That's Johnson, and then the drive, and Bryant with a couple of points. Scoring numbers for the Lady Cardinals: Hannah Gusters 32, Jordan Newsom and Morgan Browning each had 8. Our next 2 leading scorers, Courtney Wright and Heaven Butler, each with 5. Total of 71 for the Lady Cards. Scoring for the Lady Tigers: Shania Roberts leading scorer as she had 8. Renee Patterson next tie with 4.
All right, right, John, thank you very much. It's now time for the boys to play a little basketball in 6-6A district play. They're introducing the Cardinals right now, who would like to do a lot better on the road than they have of late, according to Coach Toby Martin. Take a look at the standings here as we get ready for the tip-off, and a pretty good crowded gymnasium here at Irving. Here are the standings overall. Coppell, Flower Mound, MacArthur, Flower Mound, Marcus. And then you got Louisville and Hebron and company. And then you transition over to the district play. Coppell, the Cowboys at 6-1. Then a logjam at second. Mound, the Cards, and Flower Mound, Marcus. Louisville also right there in the hunt for postseason play. And Toby Martin said, we're at the halfway point. We're starting the second part of the district season, and we're going to try to start things off right tonight against Irving High School. Toby Martin and company. Starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors for MacArthur. Same starting five that we had when they took on the Nimitz Vikings a couple of weeks ago here on ICTN. Trey Mathis, your guard. Davion Daly, Phil Ross. Then you got Kenny Hardy and Zach Tatum. So only one of those under 6 feet tall. Pretty good lineup. He's got 15 kids on the bench, too, overall, including those starters. For Irving High School, boy, it has been so tough for Steve Perry and company. He says it's been tough to score some points. The kids just aren't making free throws and just not making their shots. Nick Cole, a last-minute substitution in this ball game. He gets the start at guard. Davis, one of the guards, Deshaun Ford, and also Lewis. They go with a 4-guard set and 1 forward, and that last forward is the 6'2 senior Chris Ortiz. The Cardinals are in their traveling uniforms, all red, trimmed in black. Irving High School in their home uniforms of white, trimmed in gold. And here's a team, John, that's averaging just about 50 points a ball game. Defensively, they're giving up close to 60 points a ball game. They're 6-13 overall. They've lost all 7 in district play. And Coach Perry said, we started at 6-3, then the bottom fell out.
Faced some tough teams that won some individual tournaments. Coming off a loss to Flower Mound, 71-26. Coach Perry in year number 15, he's taken the Tigers to the playoffs before. And Toby Martin in year number 9, the Cardinals with an 18-14 season last year, on target to win their 20th game of the season tonight, come in with a 19-6 record.
All right, time to jump center stage. It will be Kenny Hardy, number 5, against Chris Ortiz, and Hardy's going to win that easily with the double tap into the backcourt into Daly, number 2. Coach Martin says Daly has just been a pleasure to coach. He's gotten better and better. He loves the attitude of these kids. Hardy with the pivot, goes up strong, draws a foul and gets the hoop as well, so he will try to get the 3-point play, as Hardy has been averaging about 16 points a ball game in district play in a strong move, John.
Nice step around move. Hardy finding the open spot. That went around Ortiz, able to get around number 32.
And he cashes in on the 3-point play, and the Cardinals hit the boards very quickly. A deep bench. You'll see a lot of players, and just a small pressure in the backcourt by Ross, number 4, going up against Ford, number 10, Deshaun Ford. And as Cole works it around the far side to Davis. Top of the key to Lewis. A little man-to-man defensively. That ball goes off the hands of Davis, the 5'11 senior. Last touched by Philip Ross, the 6'1 senior. Ross right there, number 4. He is the leader of this team in scoring for about the last 6 weeks.
Cardinals give up 51 a contest.
There's only one player on this Irving team that played football this year.
And that is?
That was number 1, Nick Cole. Stevenson, who's on the roster, played football 2 years ago, hadn't played football in a couple of years. So they only had one player come up from the gridiron. And basketball coaches love to see that. because they want their players in from the get-go. Defensively on the weak side, nice move by Ross. He gets the turnover, and we'll push it up across the timeline over to Daly. Daly, a bounce pass inside. Hardy kicks it back out, top of the key over to Mathis. Inside again to Hardy. Hardy back around to Mathis inside, a nice little runner for Daly, and Daly gets his first 2 points of the ball game. Had 12 against Nimitz when we had him on ICTN a couple of weeks ago, and they're out of the gate very quickly to a 5-0 lead, closing in on 6 minutes of quarter number 1. Boy, there's a long three-point attempt by Davis, misses its mark. And the Cardinals come back down the court. They love to move the ball up quickly. And a nice play underneath by Tatum. So 3 players now that have scored for MacArthur here early in the first quarter of play. Coach Perry told me before the ball game, he says, you know, there are other ways. If your jump shot doesn't work, then you've got to manufacture points otherwise. And that's block out, get underneath, or just try to draw the foul. It was a nice play there. Ortiz just wasn't aware of it as Cole penetrated. And, you know, from this angle, it looked like Cole could have just kept on going.
Yeah,
might have had a clear shot at the basket.
Josh Bucket in number 5, 6'1" senior for the Tigers.
So if he draws a foul, does that mean someone hit the bucket?
Underneath the bucket.
Or if they kicked him, he kicked the bucket? I can already tell right now, so far, the Cardinals are just going to try to work it underneath the glass instead of shooting those 3-pointers that we saw them do a couple of weeks ago. And Zach Tatum, the 6'2" senior, he's going to draw the foul and shoot 2 at the line. Yeah,
they're going to either Hardy or Tatum underneath.
Quite a contrast, Mr. Nelson, from that girls' game we had earlier.
You mean tempo-wise, pace-wise, or shooting-wise?
Fouls being called.
Yeah. Too many early, it's not even 3 minutes old.
Yeah, we didn't see that many in the first half, it seemed like, of the girls' game. They pretty much let them play. Can't necessarily do that if you have over-aggressive teenagers out there on the boys' side. Not to be sexist or anything, but that's just the way they call them. Baseline move. No foul as Davis misses. It's in the paint. Do we have the jump ball? Yes, we do. Possession arrow points toward the Tigers, and they will keep it. And some more substitutions for Coach Perry. We talked about Stevenson. Here he is here, number 4 coming on. There he is, a 6'1" junior. Trying to work something offensively. The inbound pass, they just couldn't handle it. 2-on-1, and Hardy knocks it home.
Off the fingertips, couldn't jump any higher.
And I was waiting, thinking maybe that was going to be a foul for some reason called, but as soon as he made the basket, a quick timeout by Coach Perry.
Zach Tatum, here's the high lob, and there's right off the fingertips to the extent of his height. He couldn't have gotten any higher as Phil Ross fed him. Cardinals coming off of a squeaker last week, defeating Louisville 58-54. They've won 5 of their last 7.
Talked to Coach Martin before the ball game. He said he really loves this team. He loves the way they're headed. He said, we just need to finish games. We're not finishing. We either get off to a slow start and have to play catch up, or we get off to a great start. Then the next thing you know, we're letting the other team come back and get us.
Well, they're dominating early here.
They are in this one. 10 unanswered points to begin this game. And the inbounds play is handled by Ford to Stevenson. Stevenson, he goes up to the hoop. Ball is slapped away. Bounce pass. Fade away by Ross, not there. Fade again to Hardy. One to the floor, the reverse, and good for Kenny Hardy. Averages 16 a ball game and doing quite well here in the early go. Baseline thrown away by the Tigers, and the Cardinals will get it back. Right now the tempo favors the Cardinals, who waste very little time pushing the ball up the court. Ross back defensively, can't handle it, and Ford will take it over the timeline. Ford goes to the hoop. I could hear the slap from here as Ross slapped him on the arm, And he'll have 2 shots at the free throw line for Deshaun Ford, the 6-foot senior.
It was Stevenson and Mirage who had the 2 double-figure games in the first meeting.
And that breaks the ice for the Tigers here in the first quarter. Another substitution. Rigsby, who had a good game in the first meeting. Rigsby coming in and sitting down as Tatum, the starter. Ford connects on both. Ross left open inside. Hardy a spin, does the same thing with the reverse layup. And although he did not make it, he draws the foul. So I think the tempo and what's going on now has been set, John, is that they're going to call it close.
Yeah, especially when Hardy gets the ball and is immediately double teamed. He'll be back next year, Kenny Hardy.
All 6'5" of him. Missed the first free throw. Most of the Cardinals, I'm noticing with their kicks on tonight, all have the gray Nikes.
Yeah, a little white border.
Take a look at it right there. Second shot is true. We talk about how closely this game is being officiated. Coach Martin said, you know, we play teams from Flower Mound that's in a whole different officiating chapter than we do when we play in Irving. They call them closer. Traditionally says they let us play here, which kind of counteracts what's gone on so far. The three-pointer by Ford, he's the only one to score for the Tigers, and that's a good thing because they keep it close. Hardy from behind gets it to fall, and Kenny Hardy is in fuego.
Caliente.
They are really exploiting that baseline against the Tigers here in the first period of play. Fade away for 3, count it, and Davis gets the tray. Feast or famine here for the Tigers. Ross for 3. Oh, we're heating them up on both sides.
Ross had 20 in the first meeting.
Here's Ford. Works it inside, reverse, and a foul. And it's going to be against Trey Mathis, who hacked Xavier Bean, number 21. He got beamed.
Right on top of the noggin.
I know, they're corny dad jokes, but they're just too easy.
When you see the name and you hear the name, you got to react.
Yes, you do.
Right?
The lefty misses the first. And more substitutions as LeBeau now in for Coach Smith and company.
What do you say about Ford when he comes in?
We'll think of something, trust me.
Drives it.
Another three-pointer. This one by Davis, his second. So the Tigers, who came in not shooting very well, have found a little streak here in the first quarter. A drive and a miss. Picked up nicely by Bucket. And this is Ford. Double teamed and a little push, and that's going to go against Ross, number 2. At this pace, we're going to have the bonus by the end of the first quarter, John.
Would you say Ford got sideswiped?
He did.
Wow, 6 fouls in the first 6 minutes.
Ford against Ross, that's a pretty good matchup right there. See if the Cardinals opt to play just a little tighter on the perimeter. Make the Tigers earn those three-point shots.
Well, a 3 would make it a 4-point game.
Stevenson's left alone, and he got it. Everybody's getting in the act. Back the other way, Ross caught him napping. Ross gets 2 on the fast break. Drive to the hoop and a miss and a rebound. Legs get tangled, no good call. Can we finish another three? No, we can't, as LeBeau missed his opportunity. And his bucket gives it over on the far corner to Stevenson, back out to Ford. Another three ball. That one was missed by Bucket. The Cardinals in the backcourt, and Ford's going to be called with a foul against Daly. Substitution Gary Smith now in for the Cardinals.
Team foul number 4 on the Tigers.
Ross will sit down. No TV timeout in high school ball.
No media break at 2, 4, and 10?
No media break under 15. First stoppage under 15 in college ball. Closing in on a minute here of the first quarter. Jump shot falls by Rigsby. Had 17 points against the Vikings. Toby using a lot more players here in the first quarter than he did against the Vikings too in that game we saw. And the Tigers going to go for the last shot. They fell behind 10-0 in this quarter. Down by 8, would like to get it down to 6. They would feel that was a very good quarter considering how they started this thing. Ford pushes back. And he got LeBeau on him. And it's just a watching dribbling game. Trying not to get caught in the 5-second play. Ford goes baseline, and I think you're seeing a little bit of what Coach Perry told me is trying to manufacture some points, and some of that is just drawing a foul.
Well, they used 27 of those 32 seconds.
And they have just enough, I think, to get a shot off. They go inside. Block from behind, no call. Ford with 0.6 seconds to go. He is fouled.
Is he ever?
Pretty physical game, John, here in the first quarter.
A lot of movement, a lot of bumping, shoving. Here's Ford as he gets whacked over, really walloped right there. Got sandwiched, got a piece. Hardy got a piece of him.
Deshaun, the 6-foot senior, will shoot 2. So far has made all 3 of his free throws. 6 in all just here in the first quarter of play. Misses that one. Not a lot of time on the clock. And we have finished one quarter of basketball. Cardinals on the road and winning 22-15 after 1. We'll take a break, come back in the second quarter here in a moment. Cardinals will inbound as we begin the second quarter of play. Cardinals and Tigers at Irving High School. Stadium with a new facelift, outside only for the most part. Gym looks pretty much the same inside. Seems like they've taken away some parking.
yeah, a little minimize that. They're checking the scorebook across the way the officials score.
You know, Wally can always come to us.
Yeah, just make the correct trek over cross court.
Just walk across, see if you can make it without getting hit. And it would even improve the game even that much more. This is Daly working on the baseline. Ford being a pest on him. A little runner in and out by Rigsby, won't fall. And Stevenson will push it back up the court.
It was really hounded on the rebound, Stevenson.
Dribbling by Ford. Bean stays in there. There's another three-pointer attempt by Davis, who had hit his last 2. You know, the odds are, John, you can't keep making three-pointers. Ross from the corner.
Yeah, it has to. The drought eventually will come.
Ross had a pretty shot. Nothing but net on that one. we've got a foul away from the basketball. It's going to be Bean, number 21, as Coach Perry turns to his assistant. We have seen a lot of players come in and out on both sides, John, here in the first half of play. Marcus Rigsby didn't stay in very long for the Cardinals, or excuse me, Gary Smith. And they bring Trey Mathis back in, Trey who got the start.
Caleb Lusk, number 33 in the game, and you're right, we haven't seen Chris Ortiz since he started the game for Irving.
Ross says, give me the ball. And he draws the foul. That's going to be Chris Ortiz. Nope, check that. Caleb Lusk, 33, charged with the foul. I think we went about a minute and 10 seconds without a foul being called, and Phil will go to the line shooting 2. Here comes our sub Tatum, who started the game, and Hardy will sit down. Hardy started off strong in the first quarter. Haven't heard much in that second part of the first quarter. Ross makes a second end of that 2 free throw opportunity. As Bucket double team, someone's open. And Lusk was the man that had fed Bucket. 2 Cardinals went after Bucket, and Lusk was wide open to the baseline. Bucket just couldn't get it to him. Stolen away, nicely done by Mathis, went really high in the air, and then an uncontested 3-pointer missed. Ross missed the putback, and also Tatum had an opportunity. 3 chances for the Cardinals, and they missed it. That's going to be kicking against Trey Mathis, and it's going to come back to this Irving into the court. Bodies flying. We really haven't gotten to a pattern, have we, John? It seems like there's a stoppage in play, like every 10 seconds. And when there's a stoppage, there's a substitution, or there's a free throw.
Yeah, because the Cardinals opened up an early 10-0 lead. They were all underneath. I mean, they're all scored underneath a bucket. No back and forth rhythm yet.
Mirage now in, number 11.
He had 13 in the first game.
That's Stevenson feeds. Had Lusk wide open. And then we're going to have a foul called away from the play on Curtis Stevenson as he hacked Tatum after the rebound.
Tatum was trying to break away and hit from behind by the 6'1 junior. Comes in averaging 11.
And it's bonus time. There's Toby. Toby in his 8th season.
How about Andrew Jones for the Horns the other night? Pours in 12 points, double figures for the X-Card.
That's great. I think for his story, just playing is great.
Yeah.
Just seeing action and being a contributor is great. Interesting note from Toby. He was telling me that some of these other gyms that his kids play in, he called them arenas, where there's not a solid end zone, if you will. You know, here there's brick and there's an end, but some of these other places, as Davis hits his 3rd 3-pointer, he says it's open, and it takes his kids about 2 quarters to get used to it.
Kind of like Grand Prairie's gym.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice facility.
Little runner slapped away by Lusk as Tatum took a move to the hoop. 8-point lead for the Cardinals, second quarter. Another 3-pointer miss, this one by Rigsby. Only 1 3-pointer so far for the Cardinals here in the first half. This is Davis, loses control of it. That'll be a turnover, Tigers.
Well, Mr. Woolman will know next week after realignment, the new district setup for the Irving schools. Maybe there'll be a different gym on the road that they'll visit.
There's Ross, the miss. The putback by the lefty Tatum, and he is fouled in the process. What if they just shocked us all and said, we're just going to leave everything the same?
Could, yeah.
There's Ross with the miss and Tatum going strong for the board. In the last 5 realignments, I don't remember that. I can't remember the last time everything stayed the same.
Schools drop down, they move up.
Mm-hmm.
That affects the region. However, that region should stay the East. I mean, it should stay the same. I noticed for Southlake and Austin Westlake going to open up the season at AT&T Stadium next August.
That's great. Battle of the Lakes.
Yeah.
Is that where Todd's at? Is he at Westlake?
Yes.
So he's going to take on his son, Riley.
That'll happen.
Lusk with the three-pointer. What's that, 6, John? They haven't had a two-pointer in the ball game.
Stevenson has the other 3.
Drive by Rigsby uncontested.
Well, they didn't get their first basket until the 4:15 mark of the first quarter. It was 12-2 Cards at that point.
Talk about baseball being so statistic-centric. This is kind of a nice one here. Oh, there's the first two-pointer.
All right. Davis.
Why not? He's had 3 of the three-pointers already. Ross double-teamed on the base. Davis thought it went off of Ross, but not. Lusk will sit down. And Yowell, number 23, will come in.
Now,
with the headband.
He was the scheduled starter.
He was.
Before the buzzer.
And then Cole got it at the last minute. Mack working it around. That's a mismatch there. Hardy going against Yowell. Hardy's got 3 inches of height at least, and they go right to him. And then the Tigers collapse all around him, and Hardy draws the foul.
Put a saddle on him.
Yeah.
Lewis and Mustafa were both here.
Yeah, it could have been either one, right?
Mustafa, I think, got it.
So Hardy goes to the line. This will be his 4th free throw attempt of the ball game. No such thing as a rhythm in the first half of this game. And it surprised me there, John. They didn't call that a 2-shot foul.
No, it was a 1-and-1. And
yeah.
It was the 8th team foul.
So both teams in the bonus. So for the next 3 minutes, we're going to go back and forth every time there's a foul. Now this is what Coach Perry wanted.
Oh, that's, yeah, he'll take this.
He wants this.
It's only a 7-point game right now.
The irony of it is that he'll ask his kids, he'll say, when you shoot free throws, he'll ask every one of them, all right, you shot 20, how many did you make? Oh, I hit about 80, 90% of them. And he goes, but then come game time, I show him the stats, and I'm like, look, you're hitting 35%, 40%, what gives?
Well, Mirage is a 50% free throw shooter.
And he missed the second to put him with that 50%. Hardy had to reach over Yowell for that one. Didn't really play into their wheelhouse, but there's a steal. Hardy has it blocked from behind.
Making up the space nicely was Lewis. Jaquan Lewis Jr. trailing the play as Rigsby gets airborne, or Hardy gets airborne.
At first, I thought he got the body. He got him with the body. Otherwise, it might have been a pretty clean block, John.
Yeah. I was about to say, aren't the Cards at least one time a game good for a drive and a dunk?
Oh, at least once, yes. And the 6'5" Hardy was winding up. That's a good foul, though. Wasn't a dirty foul, wasn't a hard foul, just went up for the block and said, okay, Mr. Hardy, You're going to have to earn your 2 points, which you did. Yao sits down. Lusk comes back in. Caleb Lusk, a 6'3" sophomore. Gives him a little more height. Lewis will sit down.
Will we see Kenny tonight, the 6'7" junior for the Cards, number 33? One of the taller players on the court.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing him in that game against Nimitz, unless it was late.
He warms up good.
He does, doesn't he?
Number 33.
Aaron Phillips now in for Irving.
I had him go to the practice range also, but when a different
when
game.
it counts, right?
Different game when it's for real.
So far, I would have to say the pace favors Irving. Even though they're down by 8, I really think Coach Perry's going to take that after the half.
Good play.
Lusk! Moves it down nicely. Ross for 3. Maybe out of his range. Tries to feed to Mathis off the fingertips.
Man, that turnover, it could be a 4-point game here in a few seconds.
Yeah. Mirage with the ball against Rigsby. Rigsby with a better reach and almost got the ball away. Somehow he gets amongst the trees, but that's about as far as he gets. Ross, 2-on-1 break. Feeds it. Nicely done. Tatum with 2. You got Ross at 6'1", Tatum at 6'2". Running that 2-on-1 break made it look easy. Bounce pass in the corner. There's Lusk. Yeah, well done. Nice ball movement by the Tigers their last 2 trips down the court.
Lusk, the only sophomore on the roster.
Not quite a slam, but it's worth 2 nonetheless for Mr. Hardy. That's been a good combo. Ross and Hardy. And by the way, Ross and Hardy are the 2 leading scorers on this team anyway. So.
And also Tatum early.
Yeah. And just like that, it's back to an 8-point game. The height once again showing off dividends. Ross left alone, 3-pointer, no. The arc has not been a friend to the Cardinals yet. Lusk left open. Kind of forced it a little bit. That's Rigsby. Rigsby 1-on-4. And he'll just pull back. Don't necessarily see Coach Martin telling him to wait for the final shot, but they are going to reload offensively and spread things out. Ross left alone in the corner. Rebounded and scored by Tatum. That's just the size advantage. Now, Coach Perry said he didn't block out. And it's definitely something he said they've got to work on. So just like that, when John was saying, hey, this could be a 6-point game, it's now a 10-point game.
Double-digit lead.
And the Cardinals will try to keep the Tigers from at least cutting it to single digits. That's not going to happen. One final shot. Here goes Rigsby. No, that will not count. And it's a 10-point MacArthur lead at the break, 38-28. We'll have stats and highlights and more when we come back.
John Nelson back with Rob Willman here at Irving High. Between halves, the Cardinals on top by 10, 38-28. Outscored the Tigers 16-13 in that second quarter. Well, early on for the Cardinals, it was the Tatum and Hardy show. Kenny Hardy underneath, 2 of his 14 points. And then Tatum Goes left hand, high off of the glass. Then the lob feed and the finish. And 2 more for Kenny Hardy. Irving Tigers hitting the outside 3. That was Deshaun Ford. And then 3 more poured in. And then underneath, nice tap to Caleb Lusk. Deshaun Ford and Savion Davis with the 3s. Caleb Lusk also had a 3. Kenny Hardy leading the Cards in scoring with 14, 9 each from Phil Ross and Zach Tatum. 3 leading scorers for the Cardinals. And the Irving Tigers paced by Savion Davis. He came in averaging 12, put in 11 in the first half. Caleb Lusk next high with the 7.
And they really need the play from Davis. They need the play from Davis really bad tonight. And that is a turnover right out of the chute. So
yeah, they tried to set it up for Josh Bucket cutting through the paint.
The thing is, Curtis Stevenson, they thought was sick. He did get to play, but he's out there. Let me just put it that way. Coach said he had over 100-degree temperature early on, and they just kind of eased him in there a little bit as Hardy picks up where he left off, scoring 2 on the inside here in the second half. Irving Tigers have won 5 in a row in this game, in this series, but it's been a while. That ball is blocked, and now we're going to have a jump ball possession. Arrow goes to MacArthur. 06 to 07, 08 to 09 was a streak for the Irving Tigers. But Mac has won 4 straight in the series, the longest winning streak, 4 in a row from 13, 14, and 15 and 16. Last year, kind of considered rebuilding, I think, for Mac. Although Coach Smith said he thought he had more talent last year than he does this year.
One of those games, they scored in the 90s against Irving.
But he said this group of players just seem to gel and know everybody knows their role and their part. He's really enjoying this core of group players here this season. Davis, who hit 3 threes in the first half, misses that one. Offensive board and a block by Mathis on the return as Bean tried to put one up close on the base.
Mathis couldn't go straight up as he leaned in and got the foul right there, unable to stop the momentum.
Talk about going straight up for Mathis. That's the key to get the block and not the foul called.
Yeah.
Outlet play. We've got 0 on 1, and there's the slam by Ross. John's prediction of at least 1 flush a ball game. And that was a great play, and a great play defensively, first of all, for the Cardinals. How many players' hands did it touch? 1. And then over to Ross.
Had it cocked and threw it down. Well, Rob, Mac football coach Ronnie Mullins is calling it quits. Announced his retirement recently after 30 years of coaching. Was at Mac for 4 years. So Ronnie Mullins calling it quits here on the football scene at MacArthur.
Let's see, they had to replace the Irving coach 2 years ago. So administration office busy now tracking down who will be the next head coach at MacArthur High School.
Administration upheaval. Turnovers inevitable. But some of these guys, they just love it so much and come back.
That is Ford who kicks it out, and around the horn they go. Stevenson missing his points. Fast break, 2 on 1. Hardy with the left hand, count it.
Lewis Jr. got him on the way up. You'll see Lewis closing in and with a whack over the top of the right shoulder.
I thought he popped him in the face. Hardy's been hit a few times tonight, going up strong. this third quarter could really blow things away. And as Hardy gets the three-point play.
Yeah, it's shaping up that way.
And the Tigers now double teamed right across the half-court line. They get it over to Ford. Ford in the corner to Cole. A one and done, and the Cardinals push it up very quickly. Ross looks, pops, count it. Ross for three, his second three-pointer. Don't forget, Irving scored 6 3-pointers in the first half, and that kept them within striking distance for most of the ball game. They spread it open offensively here. With about 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter, it was 28-38 in favor of Mac. They've outscored Irving 10-0, just like it started the ball game, John.
Exactly. Went 12-0 at one point.
Lewis with his first 2 points of the ball game. A turnover. And another turnover.
Lead pass intended for Nicholas Cole.
Ford a little upset at himself. So the Tigers have Stevenson in, along with Cole. Bean is also in there. Cardinals keep possession and a substitution. Not as many subs running in and out like we saw at the beginning of the game. I think both coaches have pretty much have decided who they want to go with and are sticking with them, at least here in the third quarter. Boy, Ross, that's a deep shot, but the results are the same, and now he's like in a groove. Been averaging about 20 a game. He's at 17 already. Ross, tall, lanky, not exactly beefy, but can jump. Ford with the head fake, double team, stops. Left over is Stevenson with the miss, and Hardy says one and done. Here comes Ross. Snowbirding his way for another 2.
I feel a trend here. I feel a disturbance in the force.
Yeah. And Coach Perry says, we've got to stop things. Coach Perry, we had a good talk before the game about one of the classes that he teaches during the year. It's like an outdoor class.
Oh, I want to. That's for me.
Yeah, me too. He says they just happen to be on fishing. I said, where can you take the kids? We got to find a pond nearby. I said, I know. Some of these ponds down on off O'Connor, MacArthur, most of them belong to city parks or HOAs, and they kind of frown on you out there fishing.
What about parts of Beltline when it fills up after a downpour?
The fish wash downstream if there's any in there. I told him he needs to start teaching a class. They do camping. That's part of it. I said he needs to start teaching a class on boondocking. The latest craze. People get a van, fix it up. They don't want to work for a living. They just make YouTube money.
Want to go RVing.
That's it. Boondocking, where you don't have to pay for anything. Put some solar panels on the roof and get your power from the sun. Well, what kind of adjustments will the Tigers make after the timeout in the third? The one thing is they got to get back defensively after a missed shot. Ortiz is back in there. We haven't seen Ortiz since the very beginning of the game, and here's Ortiz trying to back in, and a three-pointer made by Davis, his 4th of the game.
7th team three-pointer.
And the Tigers need that type of play offensively to scratch and claw their way back into it. Ross thought about it. 3 by Rigsby, and missed his mark. I don't know when the last time a high school team just kept the basketball as long as they could without shooting. Not to end a game per se, but you know, they play someone that they think they need to just let the air out of the ball and just dribble.
At any time?
Yeah, not at the end of the game. Just may go up early and then just say, let's just play keep away. And that it works. Hey, there's your guy, Kenyi, number 33, 6'7" junior.
Dan Kenyi.
Tallest guy on the court. Can't miss him. That was a foul against Kenyi. Only one foul per team so far.
I'm still intrigued by your RV camping trek.
That is Davis. Yeah. I mean,
is your last name Griswold?
No, nothing like that. See, Griswold had a home. A lot of these millennials and maybe hippie rejects. I don't want to say that, but they're out there making what little money they can off YouTube.
Hey, life is short, but it's wide.
Yeah, they're doing daily blogs, and they build their own campers, get an old Ford van, put some paneling in the inside, some solar panels, a fan, a vent, a gas grill, a fridge that operates off the batteries that gets charged up by solar.
Too many working parts.
No, that's not much at all. But here's the kicker, see, they're really diehards. As Ross steps back, thought about it. Kenyi. Ross, that would have really been a stretch. Instead, we go to Rigsby. There's Kenyi showing his height and misses, gets his own rebound. Puts up again too hard. It goes off the hands, it looked like, of Ross, but they're going to say it was off the hands of one of the Tigers. He had his chances, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, a couple of shots here. Goes up high, has a good look at it.
Inbound to Rigsby is good. Marcus Rigsby. 6 points now for Marcus. And again, Kenyi's going to be called with the foul on the inside. Or no. Jump ball. Possession max, so well done defensively. The thing is, John, getting back to the van life is, you have to have a blog or something. You have to supplement somehow some of your income. Unless you're John Nelson and just born with a silver spoon in his mouth, I guess. I don't know. Rigsby for three.
That's right.
24-point lead. Some of the Cardinal fans have left. Some of the Tiger fans as well, sensing a blowout.
Announcers have stayed.
Yeah, we have to the bitter end.
Ooh, that hurts.
Ford fed Ortiz. Ortiz drew the foul. Earned it as he got hacked pretty good and fell on his ankle, perhaps.
Limping to the free throw line.
Yeah. See, that way he's planted the seed. If he misses the free throw, he can say, man, I was banged up. See? Oh, I couldn't do it.
Teams chasing Coppell. Coppell Cowboys with a one-game lead over the Cards. Also Flower Mound and Marcus.
We'll have Irving and Nimitz. We'll tape that game a week from Friday. We'll have it on that following Sunday here on ICTN. Don't forget, you can catch all the action on YouTube as well. Just Google the city of Irving on YouTube and find even more than our games. They crank out all sorts of city product and show you just what's going on in the city. There is the address right there on YouTube. See, I would just search City of Irving.
That'd be the easiest way.
Yeah, you know, I'm all about the easy way. Or ICTN.TV, that's even really easy. That's the key. Davis misses the three-pointer. This is this has been a good learning game, I think, for that man right there, for Kenya. He's got a lot of time here in the third quarter, a lot of playing time. And I think this is a good opportunity for him to learn a little bit about the game and how to rebound position. Ross with another deuce. Ford just dribbling up some time, almost lost it. Gets around Ross. A corner play, missed over, and that'll do it. So we have finished 3, headed for 4. Our score, MacArthur 60, Irving 35. Back with the final quarter in a moment. MacArthur outscored the Tigers 22-7 in that third quarter. Interesting to note that the Texas Association of Boys Coaches, basketball coaches, they did not predict MacArthur to make the playoffs. They had Louisville, Coppell, Hebron, and Flower Mound as the 4 teams to look after. And they're in really good position as they get close to the final push to make postseason. Ross has been very active, number 4, here in the second half. He's found a shot from outside the arc, number 1, but as a guard and someone in the backcourt, he has such the ability and quickness to come up with a steal, and he can bring the ball down offensively. Oh, there's a hack right to the kisser.
Chin music.
Yeah, Stevenson's like, I already don't feel well. I'm already sick.
I'm going to take this one.
Well, he hit the ball.
He scraped him at the last.
Yeah. The thing is if he'd have just left his arm out, I think it'd have been okay.
Well, how about the combination of Ross and Hardy tonight? They have 40 of the team's 60 points.
And that's about right. That's about how this team goes. That's your 1-2 punch, without a doubt. Speaking of punches, Stevenson withstands the punch to the gizzle. There's a drive. Ooh, isn't that nice by Rigsby?
He'll be back.
That's an old person's term, in case you didn't know it.
Yeah, I was trying to have a head scratcher for a second.
Yeah. Well, oftentimes it gets confused with the goozle. That's just according to what part of town you're from. The goozle or the gizzle? It's the neck.
Okay, Burma Shave and Gillette.
Sure. Yeah. Some down-home wisdom for you. Final quarter. Let's see who they got out there. Well, they still have Rigsby, and Rigsby hits his second three-pointer. He's come on strong here in the second half. He's getting some playing time. Ross stays out there. We also have Williams, Tyrus Williams, number 24, out there. Pretty shot by Lusk. First 2 points of the second half. And the big man, Kenya, has played pretty much most of the second half. Hardy is not out there. Ross, look at that speed. That's what he does best right there, John.
Good first step.
Hardy's just taking a breather along with the other players. He's going to foul out. Hardy's going to get up there soon. He's going to have to play again.
Yeah. And here comes, let's see, who is that? That's Gary Smith. And for the second time.
There's Hardy right there rubbing his left arm. Hope he's okay. Ross. Left open for three, as good as Mirage. For a team that hasn't been able to score, they have been able to cash in on a few threes tonight. That's the Irving Tigers we're talking about.
Yeah, I've got them with 8 tonight as a team.
Rigsby had nowhere to go. No look passing. Mathis front ironed. Yao rebounds. Pretty good hustle by Williams, number 24. James Morris, a 5'9" senior, number 2. Now in for Irving. Three-pointer by Morris. Got it. Chalk up another tray, Mr. Nelson.
That's 9.
27 of the 46 points from behind the arc.
Morris, a senior, one of 6 on the squad.
You know, part of that I think is just a byproduct of the fact that I think MacArthur's just a taller team. They play tall, they are tall. And Irving, they have to shoot over them out of necessity. Mathis with his first point of the ball game from the free throw line.
Becomes the 6th different card to score.
The fouls were by the bushel full in the first half. Only 8 combined so far here in the second. Left alone is Davis. One and done as Smith turns and pushes it back up over to Rigsby. And Rigsby kept in play. Another miss by Mathis, and both teams, John, a little cold. We did have a cool front move through, and I think it's found its way in the gymnasium. Both teams a little cold, although a pretty shot by Mirage. Mirage playing big. They have him at 6'1". He doesn't look 6'1".
No, he doesn't. Mirage.
He can't be 6'1".
5'9"?
Yeah. Football coaches are notorious for making their players bigger, you know, in the stadium program than they really were.
Off season, put on 35 pounds.
Oh, easy. LeBeau with really a good hustle. Keeps it in play. They go over to the far corner. A drive, and Lusk says no more. Fast break. Over to Davis. Davis a little cool hand. Morris has it stolen by Rigsby. Rigsby up and gets it to fall.
Hung on the rim, but had enough English to go through.
More than halfway through the last quarter. Lusk. That's a pretty shot for a big man. It's good motion on it, good touch. Stolen, Yao. Outlet to Davis. Davis for 2. Both sides playing with some of their substitutes. Going to the bench a little bit. That was a little hully-gully, and LeBeau not in control. Davis pretty much just reeled back in by the Cardinals' Mathis.
I think you're right about it cooling off. Fans tonight are going to disappear into a chilly night air.
I feel like they got the windows open in the gym.
Well, it comes through that stairwell, both ends.
Davis makes his first free throw. Trying to remember how they blocked off the walls a little bit. the west end. That is Davis taking a breather.
When we first heard about the construction, I thought it was going to be like the Farrell Center. You know, we heard all about that a couple of years ago.
They just wanted the outside to look nice and purty, John.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted. Give it a fresh look.
Okay.
Hey, that's better than DISD having to decide what to do with Thomas Jefferson.
Ooh, that's a problem. You're right.
Now, a lot of parents were pushing for a brand new high school, but you know, you can save half of that money in just rebuilding what you got or putting a new section onto it. And I think that's what the school board had finally decided to do or recommend. Saved about $70 million in the process. Look out, Johnny.
I know Valentine's is a couple of weeks away, but who left the red heart on the scorer's table? Somebody got a red.
Oh, really?
Valentine's heart here on the scorer's table.
I see. I see that. I think really, John, that marks the middle of the table, and you need to scoot over.
Oh, is that what it is for the side of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
John's he's packing his bags. He's saying it's time to go. That's Labov. He gets his first points of the ball game. Still a lot of hustle. Still a lot of hustle by both sides.
Talked to Toby Martin after tonight's game. They won their 20th of the year.
Pretty shot by Phillips.
Off the bench.
And a timeout called. Didn't see what direction that was called.
I think Irving called it after
Well, I don't think
three.
no one called it. I think the refs are saying get it out. I think they're saying, well, if you wanted to call it, I'm not giving it to you. We've got Kinney coming back in for Mac. Maybe it wasn't a timeout per se as it was just a substitution.
Cardinals will now have won 5 in a row in this series.
The way Mac struggled a little bit last year, that would have been a good time to take advantage. Smith doing some dribbling. Baseline, O'Kee open. Got it blocked from behind, Lusk. Well done, and trailing the play is number 22, Richmond O'Con, the 6-foot senior forward who's now picking up some game time. And we're under a minute. That'll push MacArthur to 6-2. A couple of wins in a row. Raj with the free throw. He's shooting right about 50%. This will be his 5th free throw of the night. And missed that one. Mac still pushing it up. They can literally just milk the clock if they wanted to. Collision in the backcourt between Phillips and Keeney. The bonus, the home team gets the bonus now, as that is the 9th team foul against MacArthur. And Keeney will sit down and take his breather. It was 38-28 at the half in favor of MacArthur. Big third quarter was a 22-7 outburst by the Big Red Machine. Two points by number 11, Mirage. Follow up by the other number 11. That is Gary Smith. As As Lance Brown used to say, he'll have his name in the newspaper. Lance enjoying time in Central Texas now with his wife Gloria. Enjoying a little retirement.
Syntex.
And this should do it as Ross will dribble this bad boy out 74-61. We're going to wrap things up with highlights, scores, and an interview with Toby Smith here in a second. Stay with us. Nice win for the Cardinals tonight, 74-61 against their arch rivals, the Tigers. We'll find out how Coach Toby Martin thought about the game as we go courtside to John Nelson. John?
All right, Rob, Cardinals prevail, winning 74-61. It's win number 20 on the year for head coach Toby Martin. Coach, I thought your team came out really aggressive in scoring points underneath.
Yeah, we felt like that, that was to our advantage. We worked hard over the last couple of days to make sure we got looks near the basket and just try to impose our will to maybe open up some shooters later.
You'll take Tatum, Ross with 75% of the scoring, won't you? And also Hardy. I mean, those three about 75% of it.
Yeah, no, Zach Tatum has been outstanding for us this year. I mean, from being a defensive stopper, and we don't really run sets towards him, he's just found a way to get buckets, offensive rebounds, putbacks, things like that. And then, of course, when you have an inside-out punch like Hardy and Ross, that's always nice to have.
And you got some kids, some playing time in the third quarter that normally probably wouldn't see that much action.
Yeah, I mean, we came out from the second half. Our defensive intensity was up. We built a good lead, and we were able to substitute some guys in because, district is long and the playoffs are long, and we hope to be in the playoffs even. So, you never know if the flu's around the corner or a twisted ankle, so we want to make sure guys are, ready for next man up situations.
It's still a log jam. I mean, after tonight, you could be tied for first.
I'd like to see it. I hope so, But we've got some important ones coming up on Friday nights. We've got Marcus next week. We got Marcus next week, and then we've got Coppell coming up. So we've got some important ones, but we've got to learn to win on the road.
All right, Toby, nice win tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cardinals prevail 74-61. Rob, back to you.
All right, thanks, John, and thank you, Coach. Look at the highlights of this ball game. A big game by the big three, I guess you could say, for MacArthur, and Ross is one of those. Phil Ross had a really good second half, had 23 in all, had the jam there. The three-point plays were falling. That is Hardy. Hardy started strong in this ball game and finished pretty strong as well. And then you got Rigsby there. That's your big three for the Cardinals tonight offensively. Well done. And then for the Irving Tigers, they had their moments. Man, the three-pointers were just falling for them. And that kept them close there for a while. And a nice drive here by Mirage, but that wasn't enough as the Tigers just couldn't keep pace with the Cardinals in this one. Scoring tonight, we'll start with the Cardinals. I talked about the big three. It's Ross, Hardy, and Rigsby Jr., all in double figures. Tatum, and then the rest of the group there rounding out the scoring. And then for Irving, it's Davis with 19, Lusk with 11 off the bench, Mirage with 9, Stevenson, an unhealthy Stevenson. I mean, this is a guy that averages double figures. He only scored 6, and you see the rest of the scoring there in the ball game. So the Tigers now still looking for that first win in the district season. They are now losers of 10 straight. They're 0-8 in district. Got to regroup, got to get the scoring going. And for Coach Martin and company, they have now won 2 in a row. They've only lost 2 in district play. This was the first game of the second round, if you will, of district. And so I know they're looking forward to Marcus and to Coppell, the 2 losses in that first round of district play. And if they can keep up pace and score and do well on the road, they're going to be in great position come postseason. And Toby really likes the way these guys are playing. Well, that's going to do it for this ball game. A big win for MacArthur. They won handily tonight in enemy territory to come up with a big win, 74-61. Next game for us on ICTN, it will be the Nimitz Vikings playing host to the same Irving Tigers. For John Nelson and the entire ICTN crew, Rob Willman wishing you a pleasant good evening.